there's always a big debate between physical games versus digital games. That constant battle between, okay, I want to own games physically, but they take up so much space. And also, digital games do go on sale, usually pretty quick. So if you want a game for the cheapest way possible, sometimes picking it up at a steep discount, but in a way that you can't physically hold in your hand, that's the best option. But right now, there is a strange problem that's popping up on the PlayStation, which is that if you've bought games like This is Legend of Dragoon, and you try and play it on your PS3 or your PlayStation Vita, certain people are now having their digital games banned. They're being remotely deactivated. So even though you paid a full price for that game, you cannot play it. Now, I want to talk about this problem because I think I know what's actually going on. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here. So a lot of subscribers have been sending me this article, and I looked into the sources and stuff. It's definitely legit. Here's what's going on. Users are reporting that digital PlayStation Classics specifically are expiring and unplayable. Now, what's happening here is a bunch of people have basically been talking about the fact that with the Chrono Cross remaster that just came out, I've been playing it, I'm enjoying it a lot, but it seems as if certain people, because they're feeling nostalgic, decided to play the original version of Chrono Cross by just downloading it on their already existing systems. Currently, they are going to be deactivating the entire stores of the PlayStation Vita and the PlayStation 3 relatively soon. We do know this, they've talked about it pretty explicitly. That's coming up pretty soon. But it sounds like what was supposed to happen is that if you already bought a game, at least you'd be able to still play it. You couldn't buy new stuff, but if you already paid, they basically said, yes, you can still install it. You still own it. Well, apparently, it seems like Sony is sort of backtracking on that. So people have basically been saying stuff like Final Fantasy VI, Run Factory Oceans, Unit 13. A bunch of people are reporting the fact that if you try and download these games again, you get this very strange error that says that you bought the game, like here, this guy bought it in 2014, but it expired in 1969. This obviously renders the game to be completely unplayable, and people think that this is part of what's called an epoch glitch. You can see a lot of people are saying here that this is another game here that just is completely unplayable. Now, Unix epoch basically means that whenever you create a game console, you just set a general date as to when it exists. Like whenever I turn on my Dreamcast, because it doesn't have a battery inside, it basically thinks that it's still 1998 forever. Every time I turn it on, it thinks it's 1998. Well, for the Vita, for some reason, it's glitching out and now thinking that it's 1969. All of these games are completely unplayable because it thinks you haven't bought it yet. Now, this completely sucks, I'll say straight up, but only certain people are encountering this glitch. You see, like right here, not only can I boot mine up, I'm going to put some gameplay here in the background. This is my current PlayStation Vita. All of my stuff works. Every single PlayStation Vita game, every PlayStation 1 digital classic, all my stuff completely works seamlessly. But I do feel like there might be a subtle difference to me and these people. You see, a lot of these complaints like this, I just dug out my PlayStation Vita, and every single Vita game I purchased will not download and will not launch. I receive an error that the content is expired. I think what's happening right here is that basically I think that there is some sort of glitch currently in the system where if you have not been playing your Vita, if you haven't been playing your PlayStation 3, it does seem like subtly PlayStation has decided to step in and deactivate all of your games. Now, why would they do this? Because of PlayStation Plus Premium. Now, this is a service that's coming relatively soon. They said they're going to be launching it in June. Personally, I am extremely excited for this whole PlayStation Plus Premium, and what it is this is going to be a monthly subscription service by Sony where, by paying a fee, you get access to new games for the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, but you also will be able to play stuff for the PS1, PS2, and PS3, all on current-gen consoles. It seems like what is beginning to happen here is that there is a subtle migration of servers. I bet that right now, inside the code of Sony headquarters, they don't want to have multiple versions of different games existing on one platform. They don't want you to be able to play the PlayStation 3 version of a PlayStation 1 game on the same service that allows you to play the PlayStation 4 streamed coded version of a PlayStation 3 game, which sounds confusing, but that's probably why they're trying to clean this up. But let me make it explicitly clear, I am not defending Sony at all. I am trying to explain what I think is happening here, but this does suck. I have spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on retro games, specifically on my PlayStation 3 and my PlayStation Vita. I actually have a lot of very fond memories of, if I already owned a game physically, a lot of times I'd buy a digital copy of it whenever I had a spare paycheck because I did want to support the developers. Like, I love Final Fantasy so much, I own every single version of all the different Final Fantasy games, including on digital storefronts. And to me, I feel like the fact that I've bought these games, it feels weird that somebody at headquarters could just flip a switch. I truly believe that what's going to happen here is that right now, even if you currently have access to these, like I do, my storefront is currently working fine, I am a little bit nervous that coming up here in June, once PlayStation Plus Premium launches, they're going to press a giant nuke button. They're going to just completely level the playing field to make it where if you want access to these services, you have to pay a subscription fee. Now, I understand that a lot of people that watch this channel are big PlayStation fans, myself included, but we have to understand that this is such a weird, murky future that we're about to enter, which is that we're getting into this space where you're probably not going to own the games you play. Like, truly consider this. With this whole idea of PlayStation Plus Premium, it's cool that we're going to have access to so many classic games coming back, but the weirdness is just when you consider the fact that we're not going to physically own anything. We're not going to digitally own anything. At any point, PlayStation can just flip a switch and what you have just ceases to exist. And that feels weird that even with this subscription service, you can pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars over the course of years subscribing to this. PlayStation Plus Premium's highest tier, which is the one I'm going to subscribe to, is going to cost $17 a month, which means in just a standard year, you're going to be playing like $300 total, $180 or whatever. So the fact that you're going to be paying into this program and you don't really get to keep anything for it other than delicious memories, this is just going into a strange space if they do actually wipe the old stores. If they do just straight up delete the PlayStation 3 marketplace, if they straight up just disengage the entire PlayStation Vita, that is going to suck. Especially because I guess maybe it's just that I'm a bit of an older gamer, but it does feel very dirty in a way. Like, actually consider the fact that the PlayStation Vita did not do well. Sony themselves admits that it was a failure. A lot of the directors and head executives that worked directly on it have said that as much as people loved it, it sold abysmally bad. It's very strange that, in a way, this is about to get nuked. It is about to cease to work. At some point, they're just going to deactivate it. So my entire collection of games, all the memories I have with this, everything I love about my PlayStation Vita, and don't get me wrong, I truly love my PlayStation Vita, it's weird that pretty soon, it's just going to get shut off. It's not going to break, it's not going to die, it's just straight up going to cease to work because somebody at Sony headquarters deems it to not be worthy. This kinda sucks. I'm still excited for PlayStation Plus Premium, but be aware, try and log into your old games. Make sure that those licenses are as up to date as possible, because at some point, it does seem like this stuff is going to cease to be. But what do you guys think? Are you at all worried about this? Are you just a modern day gamer? I do see people say, I don't care about retro games. If you can't find the disc in a PlayStation 1, then you don't care about playing it. That always felt like a weird take. Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below, though. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a giant thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. Oh yeah. Vita. Vita means life. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.